Welcome to 21st Century Inklings, top 5 writing books for me this year. As of this recording, starting with number 5. How to Write a Damn Good Mystery by James Bray. And in a mystery, obviously, you don't have everything out front and center, but stuff's still happening in the background. So his step system, keeping track of what is in front of the camera, what's on the page versus what's behind the camera off stage, was particularly useful for me. Number 4, Artist's Way by Julian Cameron. Got a whole long playlist here on YouTube for that. That productivity, mental work of being creative, being a writer, being a YouTuber. And I still do the daily morning pages. Still need to work on the artist state, getting regular on that. But just the morning pages to work through the emotions, dump the toxic, and start building a positive plan has been very helpful. Number 3, GMC by Deborah Dixon, Goal, Motivation, and Conflict. Typified by the sentence, a character wants something because of something, but can't have it because blank. Goal, motivation, conflict. She tends to illustrate with a lot of different ones, but particularly The Wizard of Oz. What does Wendy want? She wants to get home. She wants to get home because her aunt is sick, and but the witch is standing in her way. Frodo wants to save the Shire, but to do so, he's got to get the ring to Mount Doom, and, well, there's a few thousand leagues between the Shire and Mount Doom, not to mention a few other things. Understanding that goal, motivation, and conflict will carry you whether it's through a seemingly series of stories or a single story. And that's something that I need to work on for my characters. I can imagine I'm not the only one. Number 2, Superstructure by James Scott Bell. From his own book, this is like giving you little signposts in your headlights along a fictional highway. Whether it's the big ones like, the doorway of no return at the end of the first act, the midpoint, staring a face in the mirror, or you're doing, it was like the ending. Where do you start? Where do you end? How do you get there? As well as a few other nice little pieces along the way. And having more bits and pieces of guidance along the way, especially with a big long novel, epically long fantasy novel I'm working on, that is extremely useful. Now for some honorable mentions. I was like, again from James Scott Bell, write your novel from the middle, which is all about that mirror moment, that what happens at the middle that defines your theme, where does this really all about? Number 2 is like Structuring Your Novel by K.M. Weiland. She's got 2 editions. The most recent one I actually picked up was the 2nd edition. For some clarity, obviously a little more details along the way. It probably would go higher if I had fully finished studying it, but awesome. And self-editing and revision for fiction writers. It certainly keeps in mind some things I'm going to have to work on once I finish the rough draft. And even some things that here and now can be used, like, dialogue tags. It doesn't have to be really much more than said most of the time, as well as repetition. I know that because of how I wrote my novel, there's going to be some repetition I have to take out, and then just brought that to my attention early on. And then writing deep scenes. Presently working on, again, how to work in scenes. And just like the title, it is deep. It is deep. Again, probably push something up higher if I were finished with it, but haven't gotten it yet done. And drum roll, please. Number 1. Creating Character Arcs by K.M. Weiland. All of those little bits and pieces. It's like, okay, what kind of arc is your character on? Is it a positive one? Is it like going from a maybe not so great place to a better place? As like AKA Luke Skywalker. He's like he's this dumb farmer boy at the beginning. In the end, he's a Jedi Master in the original trilogy. Go back to his father for the prequel trilogy. Anakin Skywalker starts a not great place, but it could be worse, and ends up as Darth Vader. For illustrating a negative arc, or as like a flat arc who more changes the world around him rather than they necessarily being changed. And I realized going through the book that one of my characters, that I'm present work in progress, is kind of going on that negative scale, so I'll have to go back and replot him to fully bring that out. But oh, I can see it now. It's like, what does my main is like the master protagonist have to do to reach the ultimate transformation? Which I'm still working on, but hey, this is like if you've got any really good writing books that you've been reading, please tell me all about them in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Happy writing!